Hey everybody, good afternoon, happy Father's Day weekend. So I just wanted to jump on and chat with you for a bit. I'm making my dinner right now. I'm making some sauteed veggies. It has broccoli too, but I made the broccoli ahead of time because you know how it's thicker and it takes a little while longer to cook. So I was just thinking about something, and I'm always thinking about content and how to promote my digital product that is, it's actually out now, but I haven't launched it yet because I'm doing a masterclass and it's not quite ready. But I was thinking about something and it just reminded me of how much it's so important to watch how we say things. So for instance, I don't know if a lot of you know that I had high blood pressure for many years. I was diagnosed when I was 25. And I also was taking medication for a long time. The last time, right before I stopped taking medication for good this year, I was on 2 medications. And it got me to thinking about how I was told well before I was 25, like ever since I was a kid, that my grandmother had high blood pressure, my mom had high blood pressure, so I'm going to get it too because it's in genetics, it's just genetics. But that was it. And I don't doubt at all that a doctor or somebody in the healthcare field told my grandmother that, who told my mom that, who told me that. And I had that in my head, ingrained in my head for a long time. So when I even got of age, it was always in my head, like, I'm going to get high blood pressure anyway. And so come to find out, while that is partially true, that it is partially genetic, it's not all the way true. It's not a definite, that's another thing I was told. You'll be on blood pressure medication your whole life. That's not exactly true at all. If you take care of yourself, if you change your eating habits, your lifestyle, no smoking, and you really take care of your health, that doesn't have to be your destiny. And I am just like thinking to myself, is that still something that people are told? Are people told that, oh yeah, your parents had high blood pressure, so you're going to get it too? Is there any other conversation other than that? Is there a conversation about these lifestyle changes will make a difference in your diagnosis? You don't have to be on blood pressure medication forever, or you can change your lifestyle and turn it around for yourself. Or even so that, hey, before you even get to that, diagnosis, the conversation when you go to checkups as a teenager, I see you have a family history of high blood pressure. That you could very well get it because in your genes there is, a possibility genetically that you can get it. But because if you have a better lifestyle and if you do X, Y, Z, you could prevent it from happening to you or getting diagnosed with it. I don't remember conversations like that when I was coming up. And that bothers me because I felt for a long time that was just going to be my destiny. No matter what I did or what I tried, I was just going to have high blood pressure. And also diabetes. I thought I was going to have that too, no matter what I did, because I trusted my doctor. And please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't trust your doctor, but you need to trust yourself enough to do more research and to, ask more questions. Ask more questions when it pertains to your health and things that you're told and things that you grew up with, because there's really no excuse now. I'm not saying that the internet is everything, but I mean, it's a whole lot more than what I had when I was coming up as a kid or as a young adult. You can find out so much more information now than you could back then. So it would really be ignorant of anyone who has the ability to find out information regarding their health, not to look it up and ask questions on what you find. I always look up things nowadays, and when I do have doctor's appointments, which is not as often anymore because I'm not on blood pressure medication anymore, thank God. But when I do have to go to the doctor for whatever reason, I'm asking questions because I want to get their opinion, and I want to know, I want them to see that I'm advocating for myself and I'm not just willing to lay down and just take any pill or any potion or any shot. You know, you have to be your biggest advocate. So, you know, it was just something I was thinking about, because I think about people that are coming up and that are growing up and maybe have had family members that had blood pressure issues, or, you know, or things like that. Are they still being told this kind of stuff? Are they being told, hey, there's a way that you can prevent from this happening? Because it is so irresponsible and dangerous to tell young people or whomever that, you know, it's black and white. This is how it is. You're never going to be able to, you know, be out of this situation medically because it's inherited or it's a genetic thing, you know. And we all know that, you know, natural remedies, unless they're coming from a holistic diet, from a holistic coach or a nurse practitioner or someone who really advocates for natural health, that these conversations aren't being had, you know, not as much as they should. So that's why I think it's so important for not only doctors, but people like myself and people that have been able to successfully get off medications and help themselves to share their story and be transparent if they care enough. And I know I do, because, you know, it's just in my nature to give information, not be a gatekeeper. I was raised that way. I will continue to be that way. I finally found my passion, and this is it. I just feel like my new book, my ebook that is coming out, is so much of a testimony of my own experience and what I found and learned to be true for myself as a regular person, living life, trying to figure life out and trying to figure my health out. And, you know, I just really think it's such a valuable tool for everybody to have, especially if you have any kind of anxiety about going to a doctor and not having any kind of information or any kind of research that you've been able to do yourself. Because, you know, it could be intimidating. It could be, there's even such thing called white coat syndrome. And if you find a good doctor, somebody who listens to you, who seems to have your best interest at heart, that's gold, and that's wonderful. Especially if you already have existing conditions, you're able to open up to your doctor and they'll give you some solid advice. It's not sitting in a waiting room for 30 minutes only to have a 10 to 15 minute doctor's appointment. You know, they're really going to advocate for you, and that's a blessing. That's great. You know, but you always want to be equipped with information that you found out on your own, and, you know, take everything with a grain of salt. So Break Every Chain is an amazing transformation tool for anyone who's pre-diabetic, type 2 diabetic, high blood pressure, even autoimmune diseases, sugar addicts, just a person who wants to clean up their diet, their nutrition. They're concerned with maybe with the foods that they eat that comes in bags and boxes with barcodes. They want to eat more of a whole food diet. They want to ramp up their nutrition. Maybe it's a woman who's 35 plus, 40 plus, and they're concerned with their hormones being out of whack and wanting to see why they're not able to lose weight. Why are they not able to break plateaus? Why are they yo-yo dieting? They're doing all the things, right? And it's just not coming together. All of those things affect us. And I just love the fact that I was able to put something together that everybody in those situations and even more can benefit from, and not just women, men as well. There's a mind and body connection that nobody really talks about when it comes to our metabolic health. I know for me, dealing with outside forces and things in the environment had a lot to do with my health, had a lot to do, a direct effect on my health and how I treated myself, how I cared for myself. There was times I was so busy caring for everybody else that I just neglected myself. There was times I was in relationships and I would neglect myself and forget about my goals and my, the routine that I set for myself that was working, because I lost sight of what I was doing because I got comfortable in what I was doing, or maybe I got to a certain weight and I was like, I knew that, you get to a certain point, you're an adult. You need to continue what you're doing, continue on the journey and the path of being healthy, especially even if you're in maintenance, you probably, loosen the grip a little bit, but you still have your core values and the things that you need to get back to. No, not me. Back then, I would get to a certain point where I would lose some weight. I'm feeling snatched. I'm feeling good. And mind you, I never really got to where I really felt like I wanted to, where I felt with my mind. My mind and my body wasn't connected the way it should have been. And that's when, relationships come and you're having a great time and you're doing the most, and you lose sight of your goals and your, the things that you need to do for yourself to keep yourself healthy and keep going. And then if that relationship ended, then here I am, 30 pounds heavier again, depressed, anxious, wondering where did I go wrong, and just shame, disappointment. And I got sick of that. I got sick of that feeling. I got sick of feeling like that and feeling helpless. And not only that, starting over, the older we get, the harder it is to pick up where we left off. You can do it. You can definitely do it. But I tell you right now, I am not looking forward ever to starting over again what I have going now. And I think that you get to a point when you really dig deep and deal with your mind and confront the issues that have been holding you back and suppressing you, and you start breaking those chains, that's when you will see that you are stronger than you know. You can keep your new lifestyle and love it and live in it and thrive. I think that is one of the biggest, I know that is one of the biggest issues I had. I had to find a way to connect my mind and my body and my goals, set boundaries for not only myself, but for others especially, and not lose sight of my journey. Even in maintenance, you have to always keep that foundation solid. And I'm not saying that there will be times that you will, maybe be really laxed, or you may have a plateau, or you may backslide a little bit and have some things you shouldn't have sugar-wise and things like that more often than you should. But when you have a foundation, and that's, I think, the main core of my program, is that when you have the foundation, you know how to bounce back and you know how to get back on track without it being months and months in between, or even weeks in between. You know what you need to do to get yourself back together. And I think that was the missing piece. I know that was a missing piece for my life. And if you're anything like me, then that's probably what was the missing link for yours as well. So in my book, I address those things, and I show you a blueprint how to get back on track, how to get back to yourself, and how to stop yo-yo dieting, saying no to the yo-yo, and to not continually get stuck in plateaus. I've had 7 to 10 people in my intermittent fasting challenge group lose 10 to 13 pounds in 2 weeks. And that is such an amazing thing because I've done it when I first started. I helped my mom lose 20 pounds and get off of insulin shots. But it's different when it's people that you don't know and people that you don't see on a regular basis. And it proved to me that anybody can do this on their own. I wasn't there with them every day. I wasn't there, walking with them or, making sure they were, sticking to what they said they were going to eat that week or things like that. We were all online and they were amazing. They did an amazing job. One of my friends, she lost weight and 13 pounds and she hadn't seen the number that she sees now in years. She can't believe that it's even possible what she did, but she did it. So, it just goes to show that you could do anything you put your mind to. And as you get to know me, as you, if you continue to follow me and get to know me, I hope that you do pick up Break Every Chain because it is transformational. I love information, but it's even better when it's transformational. I sell transformation, not just information. So that being said, continue to follow, continue to watch my lives as I get more comfortable doing them. Sometimes it's like, I gotta go live. And this is coming from somebody who spent years singing in churches, weddings, singing competitions in LA, but something about live, I think it's just having dead space. And I think, that dead space and uncomfortable, okay, what am I supposed to say? And not being prepared, right? I'm getting a little better at that. I think for me, is now that I'm coming to a close with my transformation guide, that's all I think about anyway, is, all of this, health and wellness, metabolic health, insulin resistance, metabolic renewal, all of that is just a passion of mine that I love. So I think about it a lot, but even more so now that I've come out with my own product to share, that I've come out with something that is my baby, that I'm sharing with everyone. So I'm talking about it, thinking about it even more on top of what I've already been doing. So it's pretty cool. So hold on guys, really quick. I'm gonna go and come with me. That's even better. I'm trying to stay on live as long as I can. I really want to go and get an evening walk in. I haven't walked this morning. Usually I don't walk. Well, yeah, I do. Well, no, Saturday mornings I don't really walk in the mornings, but I try to get my evening walk. It's just great for my mental health, and not only that, I can burn some calories and burn off some of my food, the carbs I have. So let's go over here. Come on. Let me see if I can. No, I'll grab my veggies when I'm done. So yeah, let me see if I could. That's kind of high. Let's see if I could bend myself down so you can see what I'm doing. See, this is raw and uncut over here. Not set up or anything. You guys are getting the real deal Holyfield over here. So, all right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and saute my vegetables, get my meat going. I got some nice thin slices of steak here. I seasoned it up really good. Salt, pepper, a little paprika, smoked paprika. What else I put in there? Garlic powder. Yeah. You don't need too much. You don't want to get too overboard when it comes to seasonings and stuff. Less is more when it comes to your food. And you'll notice too, as your palate changes, you'll start to enjoy foods more that you really didn't used to like. You'll start to enjoy how they taste, how they feel on your palate, and then some of the junk stuff that you used to eat, you'll start not really caring for that stuff. It's really cool. It's amazing. Like, you hear about these things, but until you actually do it yourself, it's like, it's true. So, let's go this in the fridge. Father's Day. don't know if you guys know him. I lost my father I didn't lose my father. My father passed in 2016. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's kind of sad on Father's Day. I miss him a lot. I miss my dad totally. Every day I think about him every single day. But I know where he's at. He's with the Lord. But I can't lie and say I don't think about him every day, and that makes me a little sad wishing he was here on Father's Day. But one good thing about it, I know for sure, is that we had so many wonderful Father's Day celebrations. And yeah, we have a lot of great memories. And I know that he's watching over me. I wonder what you guys are doing today for Father's Day. You guys out and about, having a good time? I think I want to move you over here. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah. So it's going to start sizzling in here in a minute. I'll turn this light on. So other things going on that I've been thinking about this week. Ananda Lewis. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her. She was a very popular DJ back in the day with MTV. I think she did TRL. She did TRL? Well, she was like the host of one of the main shows that showed videos and things like that. She passed away from breast cancer not too long ago. And that's been on my mind a lot lately because it just hits so close to home, you know. She was a little older than me, but I watched her as a kid. She was, you know, especially in the summers, we'd watch videos all the time. We didn't have phones and things like that. So she was a big deal, you know, in our house. And it breaks my heart that she's no longer here. One of the things that I think about often with her is her last couple of interviews where she talked about getting diagnosed with cancer and how she was leery of getting her breast checked because of radiation. And you can look at it, if you like want to Google, you can find out what she said about it. And it was almost as if when she was talking, she was just talking right to me. Because now, well, not now, before she passed, she was saying how she wished that, she stands by what she said when it comes to the radiation, but she wishes that she could turn back the hands of time and get a regular mammogram. Because it could have caught what was in her breast a long time ago, before it got to the point where she was at stage 3 breast cancer. And it had me thinking, because she made a comment in one of the videos of interview that she did saying, I hope you guys can hear me. She had made a comment that by 47, I should have had a mammogram. I think that's what she said. At least by 47, I should have had a mammogram. I'm 47 years old, and I haven't had a mammogram. I've had ultrasounds, but I haven't had a mammogram because I felt the same exact way about radiation as she did. But I think God makes things happen for a reason. She made that video specifically for me and people and women like me, because I have changed my mind and I am going to go and have a mammogram, because that just hit close to home. And she also made a comment about, when she got diagnosed with cancer, she ended up having to have PET scans. And those PET scans for 10 times more, actually more than that, double the amount of radiation than if she would have had a regular mammogram. But you do the best you can with what you have. And I feel like, I hope and pray that before she left, she didn't feel like she blamed herself for making the decision what she thought was the best decision for herself and for her family and for her son. She has a son. Because we do the best we can with what we have. We can't beat ourselves up for decisions that we thought were good for us. Put a little water on this, you know. You know, we do the best that we can with what we have. And I'm glad she's not suffering anymore. And I know people say that, and it's like, yeah, but we wish she was here. But I feel like, my hope and my prayer is that her message and her life will not be in vain. That women will take heed to what she was saying about radiation and about going to get checked. Because if you do get diagnosed with cancer, it could end up being a whole lot worse. And all that radiation you thought you were saving yourself from, you didn't save yourself at all, because you're going to have to get more, way more than what you thought you'd have. And bless her heart, Ananda was the one that went before us to find all this out, and she shared it with her. And I really commend a woman like that, a beautiful woman like that, anyone who uses their story or their pain to help bring light to others in the midst of what she was going through and the pain. And, you know, she saw fit to share and educate everybody else. And I know it impacted me. So I'm taking heed, and I'm going to go and get checked, and I hope you do too. So, but yeah, that was pretty tough to hear this week. Our health is all we have, y'all. I think it is so, it blows my mind. Like, I have, you know, I'm online and just, you know, mainly nowadays for business and for, you know, work and working with clients and stuff. But then there's times I have it where I'm just, you know, seeing what's going on in the world and, you know, entertainment. I love comedy and stuff like that, so I'll watch different comedians and things like that and try to stay away from politics, because I'm not trying to stress myself out. I learn as much as I need to learn, let's put it that way. And then I turn it off. But anyway, I move myself there, that's better. It blows my mind how so many people are so interested in making money more than they are their own health. I love money just as much as the next person, but it seems like they advocate more for making money over their own health. But if you're not here to enjoy that wealth, if you don't have health, you don't have wealth or anything else. The real health, the real wealth is your health. So, I don't know. I get it. Everybody got to make money, especially now. Everybody's trying to be successful. And that brings me to another little, I'll go off on a little tangent. 2025, you should be starting your own business. Do something. Passive income. Something. Have something else going on. But anyway, you know, I get it. Everybody's trying to make it the best way they can and have something to give their families later on. Or if not now, now's the time. But at the end of the day, your main priority should be your health. Your family needs you here. You need you here more than anything. And if you don't have the strength or the energy or the drive to, or the, the capacity to do things, even go out to work, then what's the point? I think that life is way too short, and I see that so many people are so bogged down with everything that's going on in life, me included. But you have to find a balance, and that's when that mind and body connection comes in. You have to be in control. You have to be in tune with your mind. Listen to yourself. Listen to your body. Listen to the cues and clues. The things that worry or bother you, you need to pause and take heed on that. All of that stuff affects your health. So, but yeah, that's it. I got this meat on. Let me show you guys. I finished my veggies. Let's see if I can turn this around. Can I turn this around? Let's see. Oops. Sorry. Or maybe I can't. Okay, well, whatever. I'm going to do it like this. So I got my meat. And then I got my veggies all nice and done here. So yeah. That meat's looking a little gray right now, but wait till it's going to get some little crispy edges. It's going to be so good. I had it the other day and I was just so satisfied. Right now, as you're going to find out once we get into our book, once we get into the guide, there's phase 1 and phase 2 of eating that I promote, that I came up with for people and for myself, because that's what I do. And I went back to phase 1, which is eating low carb more often than not, always whole foods, right? But scaling back on the processed stuff. I had a little, because I'm kind of basically in maintenance, but I still have some things that I want to work on. But oh my gosh, you guys, the new Frosties, I should say, at Wendy's. That caramel one had me in a chokehold. It was so good. And I had it like a few days in a row. And I was like, okay, I need to get myself together because I'm doing the most. So, they're so good. But now I'm not even craving it anymore since I stopped. And that is the beauty with mind and body connection. I'm telling you guys. You have the power to control what you want to happen with your body. You really do. Because, I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong. I could talk about it now and not feel like, oh, I need to go and buy me an icy Frosty when I go out for my walk. My mind is stronger than my cravings. It's not even a craving. It's not even a craving. At least if it was, it's not anymore. It's good, but it's not that good. I've come too far. So we talk about all that in Breaking Every Chain too. So anyway, I'm gonna get ready to eat. So I will talk to y'all later. Hopefully you have a great Father's Day tomorrow and a great evening tonight, whatever you're going to be doing. Everybody else, even if you're a father figure, if you are an uncle who's involved in their nephews' lives, football coach, whomever, you're appreciated and you are loved. And enjoy your weekend. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.